After reaching the summit of Mount Hessigen in Norway, the old man tells the narrator about an event that once occurred on the mountain that weakened his limbs. The old man asks him to look beyond the clouds into the sea, which the narrator does. The desolate ocean has several craggy islands, and the old man names them before pointing out an unusual change in the water. The narrator hears a roar from the sea, which shows a furious current that shapes the smaller whirlpools of the water into a huge mile-long funnel. He recognizes it as the Great Whirlpool of Maelstrom, which the old man terms the Mokso storm after the name of the island in the middle. Whenever a ship comes within a mile of the full force of the maelstrom, it is carried to the bottom and slammed against the rocks until the whirlpool or maelstrom ceases to exist. The narrator points out that the depth in the center of the maelstrom is probably much greater than 40 fathoms, and he is unsatisfied by the accounts that describe this phenomenon as a result of water colliding in a circular motion in a flood, while being drawn to more fantastic explanations that call the center of the entrance to the abyss in the middle of the earth. The old man has the narrator protect himself from the deafening sound of the water and begins to tell the narrator of his own experience with the maelstrom in his younger days. In his story, he and his two brothers own a boat, and they are the only ones brave enough to fish among the islands behind the maelstrom. The business is lucrative but dangerous, and they are very careful to watch the water, although they occasionally are driven out to sea and only come back through luck. They have always successfully navigated the maelstrom, but never allow their sons to come on the trip with them because of their safety. One day in mid-July, a terrible hurricane arrives without warning. The man and his brothers had come to the islands around 2 in the afternoon and begin their return at 7 p.m., knowing that the maelstrom will be still at 8 p.m. The breeze picks up, causing the man to feel worried, and when the breeze leaves, the hurricane arrives, tearing away the mast as well as his younger brother. The man and his older brother manage to survive despite being temporarily submerged in the water. Unfortunately, by the time the boat recovers and floats back to the surface, they are caught in the maelstrom and they sense their doom. The moon lights up the sky so that they can see each other, although they cannot hear each other above the noise. The elder brother signals to the man, making the latter realize that the watch ran down at 7. This means that they have missed the time of calmness of the storm. Now it is reaching its full strength. The ship rides the waves into the air, and he sees that the whirlpool is particularly strong. The waves subside into the foam, and the man becomes calm in his despair, thinking about how magnificent it will be to die this way and awaiting his exploration of the maelstrom's depths, even if it is at the cost of his and his brother's lives. He is also calmed as the wind stops when they circulate into the pool. His brother tries to let go of his hold on a water cask and join him in the insanity of his fright, so the man lets his brother have what he is holding on to and takes the cask, at which point the ship lurches and begins to head downward into the center of the maelstrom. The man closes his eyes and waits for his death, but eventually opens his eyes and sees that the boat is hanging on the back walls of the maelstrom, and the force of the boat's whirling pins him to the boat. He sees a rainbow in the abyss caused by the movement of the water as they slowly spiral downward. The man observes the wreckage that swirls around him. After some time, an idea occurs to him as he observes that small shapes and cylinders seem to descend most slowly into the abyss. He lashes himself with the water cask and cuts himself loose, signaling to his brother to seek nearby barrels. However, his brother refuses to move, so he resigns his brother to his fate and detaches the cask from the boat. As the man had hoped, the cask sinks much slower than the boat that holds his unlucky brother. By the time it sinks half of the distance between its moment of detachment from the boat and the center of the abyss, the funnel of the maelstrom has become calm and he is safe. The man finds himself on the surface during the hour in which the maelstrom is still. The waves from the hurricane wash him to the channel where a boat picks him up. He has been saved, but he tells the narrator his black hair has turned white and his face has rapidly aged, although he does not expect the narrator to believe his tale.
Created using Powtoon.